And we are back for another exciting episode of the Creators Collective. I hope you're having a good day because I am.
All right, Delilah.
I had to do a little throwback there. I was really enjoying
That was
this
good.
one.
I haven't heard that for a while. Oh man, what's
So,
new?
yeah, this has been
I'll
a.
kick it off. How's that? That was weird.
Yeah, why don't you go then?
I don't know what's new with you guys.
All right.
I'm good at this.
Yeah, you're real good at this. I'm all thrown off now. Everything's not right in the world. All right.
What you got, Will?
Oh man, I'm still all over the place, but I'm on the upswing of like that good feeling that we talked about last week of like getting stuff done. Even though I have a million things on my plate, I am wrapping up the stair system that I built off of the deck. That was quite the project. I always forget how much work stairs are until I do them again and realize that it's not just cutting stringers and putting boards on top. But there's a lot of pieces, a lot of deep holes to dig in 95-degree weather. But yeah, anyway, I should finish that up hopefully today. I still need to finish laying flooring in my basement so I can build a vanity in the bathroom, which I've got the plywood, the 3/4-inch birch plywood for the cabinet carcass for the vanity for that. I've got the vanity top. Yesterday, I started on the next book matched live edge slab cherry table for a client. So I got those. I got the two slabs laid out, cut to length, ripped down the edge. So they're both book matched, flattened, jointed, and glued up yesterday. So I got a lot done on that yesterday. And I'm feeling really, really good about that. We are having a meetup on June 9th at Hackett Enterprises, which is where I get my live edge slabs. Lynn and Matt from Darwin Orver are also going to be there. So I'm excited about that. I just picked up steel for a project that I am working on for Inventables using the X-Carve. And it's actually kind of cool. It's kind of a throwback to me getting into metalworking. So my idea is to make a steel ring out of 1/4x2 mild steel, but I don't have a ring roller or just a roll, something to roll it out with and to make a perfect circle. And I looked into buying one, but the only one I could find that was relatively affordable was like $270, and it was Chinese, and the reviews were mixed. And then I looked at the American version that the Chinese one was based off of, and that was like $1,800. And I was like, well, I just need to make one perfect circle ring. So I called my old welding instructor, Steve Brownell of the Brownell Metal Studio and the Virginia School of Metal, and asked him if he had a roll. And he said he did, and could he make me a ring? And he said he could. So
Nice.
Yeah. So he's gonna. What's that?
It's not what you know.
It's who you know. That's right. So I'm gonna video that of me going out to his studio and making these rings, and then I'll bring those rings back into my shop and measure the interior diameter of the ring, and then take two opposing live edge slabs. Put them on the CNC and then cut the interior diameter of that will be the outside diameter of the live edge slabs, and then those will get mounted within this ring. And I'm either going to make a piece of wall art, a table, or a chandelier out of that. I haven't gotten that far.
I'm so
yet.
confused.
How
I feel like
big
you
is the
just
ring?
did a long division problem on the podcast. And carry the 2, the remainder of 7. That's what I'm going to use for the letter.
All right. So basically, a metal ring, right?
Mhm.
And then, so think about like a round tabletop.
Yep.
And so the ring is the band around the top, and the interior is going to be 2 opposing live edge slabs. Think river table, but without an epoxy pour or a piece of glass. That'll just be kind of floating in there. And the CNC will cut. If I pose them, mount them on the spoil board of the CNC, the CNC will cut that perfect circle, and so they'll fit within that metal ring.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So what's going to fill the gap then? Nothing?
Nothing. Or glass. Maybe glass.
I mean, you got to have something where you can like set something on it, right?
Not if you're Sean Boyd. He likes
doing
to
a chandelier. Or...
Yeah. So I might turn it into a chandelier. I don't know.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Or not. I don't know.
How big in diameter is it?
I'm thinking 18 inches.
Oh, okay.
So like an end table.
Right. When you're talking live edge slabs, I'm thinking like 48 inches across. And...
Oh, yeah, just baby slabs. They'll still be 2 inches thick, but two live edge pieces, I guess. Instead of
Did you say
slabs.
It's 95 there?
Well, today it's only 70, but yeah, it's been 95. It'll be 95 this weekend.
God, what happened? What happened to the world? It didn't used to be like this, did it? Or am I just working harder and it seems
we
harder?
hit 85 here yesterday.
When I was a kid, like it just didn't seem like it ever got. I don't know. I mean, I know I've moved to the hottest corner of the United States, but still, like I check the weather everywhere, and I'm like, I feel like winters used to last longer, and summers didn't used to be as hot. Just generally, I'm not trying to get all political or anything. I'm just making human observations.
I don't know. Virginia. I mean, I remember growing up and it being 101 and 100% humidity, and just like you walk out in like pea soup. But I did feel like spring used to last longer.
Ugh, man, I need to move to like Norway. I was talking to some Norwegian buddies, some Norwegian people I met at Maker Central, and I was telling everybody, we're talking about where we live and stuff, and just general chit chat at breakfast. And I was like, man, I love miserable weather, like stormy, cold, gloomy, depressing weather is like my favorite thing. And everybody's like, oh, you'd love Norway. I have no idea how Norway. I'm doing an impersonation of that, but yeah, they're like, oh, if you like shit weather, you'd love it up here. I'm like, yes, super green and gray. Those are my favorite. Anyway, yeah.
So it's going to hit 90 today and 93 on Sunday.
It was 98 here the other day with high humidity. And it's like not even June yet.
I feel like Florida is rubbing off on you, Zach, because you definitely sound like an old man that likes to talk about the weather.
No, well, I'm almost out, hopefully. So I've been like, this is a segue into what I've been up to. Nothing. I've done nothing. For a week, I've been just a lazy sack of crap.
What about the 99th hammer?
I've spent so long just like doing a little bit a day because it's not to get back into it, but it's the reason it's been so hot here. I just don't want to go out in a shop.
You should get one of those.
Sounds like I'm being lazy, but it's just like I just by like 12:30, 1 o'clock. It's just I'm done. It's too hot. And I'm not in the mood. I think the biggest problem.
Now you sound like my wife.
Well, I felt really like, I want to say that I'm uninspired lately. I know we had this talk last week, but I think mentally I've like already moved on. I'm ready to start packing. I'm ready to start moving. So it's really hard for me to go out and do work in the shop for those two reasons: the heat. And just mentally, I'm like, I'm over it. I'm move on. I'm ready to pack up stuff and move. And that's been the hardest part is this past week, just waiting. We got the home inspection back on this new place the other day. And then we got the appraisal was done yesterday. We're expecting a report today. And we're just hoping it doesn't come in way under. We think it's going to come in under. And hopefully they'll be willing to sell it for what the house appraises for, which apparently just doesn't happen anymore. Like people just don't sell their house for the appraised value. They want an extra $20,000-$30,000. And if that's the case, then we're back to square one with 3 weeks to move and no house. So just like the stress, because my wife has to start her job in like 3 weeks up there. And with the last house falling through so close, we found the second one, which is so much better. It's perfect. Everything has gone really well so far, but it's super nerve wracking because this is kind of our last chance with, and if this doesn't work out, she's going to have to move up there and like rent an apartment while I start getting back to work and trying to crank out stuff until we find a place. So it's been really stressful. And I think that's been a part of, my lack of motivation to do work. It's just, I'm just mentally exhausted and kind of checked out of everything. But you know, it's weird because all I can do is wait. So you'd think, you know, rationally, it's like, oh, well, just go do your normal thing because you have no control over the situation. But still, it's like for me, I just want to fixate on it. I'm like, when is it going to finish? Come on. Is it checking my phone every 10 minutes to see if things have updated? And so it's been really, you know.
You should go turn something. That's meditative for me. Like just go grab a piece of random wood and turn something on your lathe.
Yeah, but shavings on sticky skin.
Yeah, it's better than grinding metal. Like that's the
Yeah.
word, you know, when you're sticky, like just all the metal, like it just like I just end up like gray. I look like one of those like human statue people in the park that like paint themselves colors and hold still.
The statues,
yeah,
the
statue people.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, not that probably all had like this huge sense of negativity to it, which I didn't intend, but it's been stressful, but that's a part of life. I mean, I guess, you know, it is what it is, and hopefully we'll know something soon. But this whole process, you know, especially being down to the wire like we are, it's nerve-wracking and it's stressful.
Well,
what's that?
I said, well, your beard is looking nice and thick and dark today. So,
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
must be your masculinity. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I've been like taking the best care of myself the past week. Like the first thing to go is like general hygiene when you're not, you know.
I just don't care anymore.
Stop shaving and I still brush my teeth and shower. So,
well, James, what are you working on?
The bed. No, I'm doing the hash work up on the top. That is just a lot of little detail stuff. So it's 6, 12, 24 half laps and 40 mortise and tenon joints, all cut by hand and all need to be aligned, and all of them need to line up as they're all intertwined. So it's an interesting run through, but it's coming along pretty well. So hopefully that video will be coming up Saturday. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, and then I started work on a worthless box. It's something that's been on my list for a while. So I'm going to be collabing with another channel to put that together. He'll do the electronics and I'll do the actual box construction.
Is that the one where if you open it, it closes itself? Like the little thing comes out and presses the button and it closes?
Yeah, you push a switch on it and a finger comes out and flips it off.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think my father-in-law made one of those.
Now it's kind of a fun little thing. And I have one in mind that I want to build one of these days. It's rather than just having one switch or a panel of switches, to actually have the finger on a rotation. So it pops out the middle of the box and can rotate 180 degrees. And there's switches all the way around where it can pop out. So you can turn them all on and it will go one by one and turn them all off or hit only the ones that are on. So it's it'd be fun to program and figure out.
So that's
says
cool.
the hand tool guy.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about something that's also exciting in my world. Sorry, speaking of collabs and such. So I stopped by a local furniture maker's the other day. I mean, I had an open invite to stop by any time. I didn't just bombard him and say like, hey, because I would hate that if somebody did that in my shop. So I stopped by and we were talking over lunch, and talking about, so he's like 40. I'm in my mid 30s. There's some other people that are, around that age, furniture makers, furniture designers, artisans, craftspeople, around our area. So we're just thinking in the beginning stages of talking about doing like a twice a year event. And it's not like a craft show or like a farmer's market, where you go every week. We're talking about doing it twice a year, gathering some other young furniture makers, some artisans, craftspeople, and making like an event with like, live music and local beer and food trucks and doing like, like a furniture show. And it got me just kind of excited about doing something like that. Have you guys ever heard of anything like that?
No, not for furniture. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. And like, maybe build a few pieces on spec, but just to show off, kind of your style. And just make it, I don't know, an event just about like, craftspeople and working with your hands. And
yeah. There's one like that for arts in general. And so there'll be sculptors, painters, woodworkers here in Rockford, but not for just furniture. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. And there's a couple of people like out of Richmond that I know personally that I might try to get on board. And we all have like totally different styles, but we're all like, I'm speaking, for myself. I think I'm a pretty decent furniture maker. But we're all like really, really like, we're not, throwing 2x4s together with screws. But anyway, I totally, derailed, but I was just excited about the idea of something like that, and didn't know if you guys have ever heard anything like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Have you guys ever like taken so much time away from some particular skill or something to where you're like, man, I wonder if I forgot how to do that, or I can't believe I did that, or like where it almost feels foreign and you almost feel like, could I do that again? It's a dumb thought, but
yeah, like,
that's happened to me. Like I haven't done a like much metal fab or welding or like furniture for a long time now. And I mean, that's probably my favorite thing, but I've been like kind of off vacationing, trying to develop a whole new skill set. And it almost seems foreign to me now, although that's where I want to be when I get back to it. But
yeah.
I'm like, sometimes I look at some of the stuff that I made and I'm like, man, like I can't believe I made that. Like I didn't know I know how to weld. Like what I did for like 2 years straight, but it's where your mind starts thinking, like it starts going down this different road. And then you're like, oh yeah, like I guess I did used to do a lot of that. It's kind of weird. I don't know.
I feel like if you got back into it, your first welds would be really ugly, because I know mine always are.
I feel like I've done enough of it, and I'm not saying I'm like the thing is I mean I've everything I did was welded for 3 years.
True.
I don't think that skill is going away. But then again, when you see people who are like, there's a whole next level of like welders, and it's almost discouraging, because I mean I feel like I'm confident in my welds. Like I've never had an issue with them. They usually look pretty good. But then it's like you run into people who did it for a living, like pipe welders and stuff, and you watch them, and you're like, I'm like, I suck. I'm like, I don't even deserve to own these tools.
Oh yeah.
And they're just it's so far beyond what's like necessary for the kind of stuff that I do. But still, you're like, I don't even like at this point, I don't even consider myself like I can weld, but I wouldn't call myself a welder.
I want that coffee mug, world's okayest welder. Have you ever seen that shirt or that welder?
I've seen the world's okayest. Almost
everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
They should make one that says world's okayest t-shirt idea. Make maybe. No.
That's good. Yeah. No, my welds, if I haven't welded for a while, look like I'm laying random pocket change. There's no dimes. It's all just.
There's like some euros in there and some.
Yeah. There's like a silver dollar and yeah, they're kind of globby.
They're all different colors.
Yeah, they're all globby. Yeah. But
a salted nail instead of like a stack of dimes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but my last weld is always my prettiest of any project.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say if anyone is in the Chicago area, DMF Toolworks, the same guy who makes the card scrapers that I sell, as well as the dowel plate that I recently put out a video on. He has a bunch of small hand tools and things like that he makes. It's actually becoming his full-time business now, and he's doing an open house because he's just opening a new shop, actually in Chicago. So that'll be on June 9th. So I'll be hanging out there if anyone wants to come see me, but it'd be kind of a cool time. We're trying to get a few of the local woodworkers and group together. So I'd love to see anyone else out for that.
Cool. June 9th is a popular meetup date, apparently.
Yeah, it is. Hey, are either of you coming to the Midwest Tool Collectors?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, sad.
I don't plan on it.
I usually go from coast to coast. I don't usually stop in the middle.
Don't like them flyover states.
So I'm kind of curious because something I've been noticing lately in like the forging world, since I've been immersed in it, is there's so many people that are starting to like make hammers now. Tons of like new people making hammers and stuff, which is cool. What things in like that? Because I've been kind of out of the woodworking realm for like a while. Like, are you guys seeing like a huge like emergence of any particular thing in your domain? Does it seem like there's a lot of people doing? I mean, other than river tables and stuff, but
like you're like the new trend. Is that kind of what you're asking?
yeah, either trend or just like does it seem like there's this huge influx into it still, like there has been for the past couple of years? Does it seem like that's the same, trending up, trending down? Just the general state of woodworking. What's going on? Like in this sort of Bloomberg report.
I think there's definitely continued interest in it. Like things like Instagram, though, it's such a crowded space that there's so many people out there that I don't even know, and I'll find like a new Instagram profile or something on somebody, furniture maker, woodworker, and they've got 50,000 followers, and I'm like, oh well, how did I not know about them?
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, just because I kind of keep up with the same people that I always keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Ethan Abrams.
Yeah.
Do you know him? Did you follow him?
Him a few times. He does some really cool stuff.
Yeah, he does some really cool stuff. But other than like, I don't know, I think continued interest in making things with your hands is always there. I think this is definitely the, second coming of the arts and crafts movement. After China opened up in the 80s and started, flooding the market with cheap home goods, and just laminated crap.
Home bads.
Yeah, home bads. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think definitely, the Gen X and Gen Yers, wanted to get back into handcrafted, so the 30 and 40 somethings like us, are really, I don't know, interested in handmade furniture. And I don't know. I think that's, I don't know of a new trend in woodworking, but I think there's always people, getting more and more into it.
I've seen a resurgence, not from people wanting quality, but from people wanting to get away and actually create something with their hands. As in, there are a lot of, I would probably say somewhere around 50 to 60% of my viewers on YouTube are programmers or computer tech. People who all day long sit in front of a computer and type stuff out, and they just want to go home and actually work with their hands. And it's kind of a different feeling because the goal there isn't to build something quality or to build something nice. It's just to actually create something, and it's a slightly different way of looking at the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had somebody in my shop, they wanted to modify a piece of IKEA furniture, and they had like this design, and they wanted to cut new drawer fronts and kind of handles in the drawer fronts of this dresser. And he contacted me, and basically I was like, yeah, I can do that for you. Like, it's not a big deal. And he's like, no, I want to do it. You know, I want to come to your shop and I want you to show me how to do it because I want to have like involvement in the process. So I just charge him shop time. But I think you're right, James, about people wanting to do things with their hands or be able to do stuff.
I'm so like that. Just for some reason, he said that, and I thought like IKEA hacking IKEA furniture. My God, like please don't ever use hack in your SEO. I mean, go ahead and do it, but man, like, I can't wait for that like in your face SEO trending stuff to like run its course. Like just the word hack. Like I see it, I can't like my Facebook feed, like every time I scroll down, it's like some super high speed video with like the word something hack on it. You will never believe this pencil hack. Like, how can you hack a hack? It's like such an abomination of the word hack. Like hacking IKEA furniture. Come on.
I am a hack.
Come on. Yeah, that's.
Do you ever feel like a hack? Like you've been like living this life of like, you know, like you're like, oh, I'm a great furniture maker. And then like you see somebody else like really, really good. And you're just like, I'm just a hack. Like everything I do sucks when you look at, you compare it to that.
I'm always amazed when anything I make works still. So like, yeah, I don't know. Like I have to talk myself out of being a hack, not into being a hack, because I know I'm a hack. I got that from my dad. Like, so when I was a kid, we grew up and there was like, we were always working on race cars and stuff. And my dad he is, as much as I hate the term, like he totally is he's like the god of hacking things, of like, and of like hacking
for
things
unintended
together
reasons
terribly. Like the actual like correct usage in my mind of the word hack, unless you're talking about computers, is like how to, forgive my English, shittily make things work with minimal effort. My dad,
jerry rig, I believe, is the term for that.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing the things he could do with, I know it's cliche, but with, you know, duct tape and coat hangers. Like we had, you know, internal combustion engines that were running off of duct tape and coat hangers. So I don't know, I guess I get a lot of that from him, but so for me, it's always an effort to try and not take the shortcuts and in the easy, quick ways to do things.
Sure. Yeah.
To unhack. I want to see a video that says, you know, how to unhack an IKEA piece of furniture where you just smash it and start over with good stuff.
Yeah. How to build quality furniture. Yeah. But
it's you know what it is? It's the arts and hack movement. That's what we have going right now.
Well, we are all over the place on this podcast today. We've gone. Yeah. No, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, who says anything has to be coherent?
I actually have several jokes of the week if you guys want to hear those.
Sure.
Yeah. I had a bunch of them given to me, and I figured it would be a fun time just to put a bunch of them in a row. So my wife told me the other day that I was being immature. I told her to get out of my fort.
Nice.
That's pretty bad.
Someone out there stole my mood ring the other day. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
All right.
This is a good one. My grandfather has the heart of a lion, and a lifetime ban at the zoo.
Oh, that's morbid.
Not sure how I feel about that.
What did the pirate say when he turned 80? I'm 80.
That's the best one of the bunch.
There it is. Good. That was a legit laugh for me. I was reading it and I was like, I don't get it. And then he said it. I was like, oh,
that's good.
Oh,
maybe we should end on a high note and save some for next time. I don't know how many more bad
ones.
Oh,
I've got a ton more.
All right, we'll set them aside.
I have a file where I collect them because I end each of my each of my videos with a dad joke. Oh, that, and also on my lives, anytime someone does a super chat, they get a dad joke.
Nice.
Wow.
So yeah,
You should do a table where you just engrave all of the worst jokes in the top of it.
Did you guys see that comic I posted on Instagram like yesterday? We've done the joke on the podcast before, but it was like the actual, like, the funny paper.
I don't remember it.
It was a chainsaw and chainsaw and a handsaw, and they're sitting on the couch, and the chainsaw says, "Kim, I said I love you." Kim says, "And I heard you." Humiliated, he vowed next relationship would be with a reciprocating saw. I got a good chuckle at it.
Cool. Well, what are you watching, reading? What's inspiring you? Will, what you got?
So Ashley Harwood, who I met in Atlanta at Workbench Con and got to drink a beer with her and her boyfriend Dan Tilden, who they're both amazing wood turners. I really, really tried to encourage her to get into the YouTube space because she's such an incredible teacher. And so she finally took the plunge and she started her channel. And one of her first videos is her and Dan making a DIY kiln in like a shed out of foam insulation board, a dehumidifier, 2 fans, and a space heater. And it was like, wow, that's brilliant. So that Ashley Harwood's DIY kiln.
Sweet. I just took a look at that.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah. How about you, James?
I have to go with Blackbeard Projects. He is a channel that, well, he started right around the time that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And last year he had a couple videos that went viral. And when I mean viral, I mean like really, really viral. And he went from, a few thousand subscribers to he's now over 1 million. And his videos are absolutely incredible. And they're very much like the Jimmy DiResta style, but he does some really interesting things, a lot of bladesmithing, a lot of detailed woodworking.
I had a
gorgeous projects.
Him and I went head to head for a knife forging contest thing at the Maker Central.
Who won?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I beat him. I think I beat him by like 5 seconds. So it was pretty much a draw.
Oh, cool.
So, but yeah, nice guy.
He's an awesome guy to hang out with. We spent quite a bit of time.
Everybody was really cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
no surprise.
Like, yeah.
I wish there was somebody that we could all mutually talk crap about, but everything in the community is cool.
No, Jonathan
feels like
poses,
It feels like it's like it almost feels authentic because I don't have anything bad to say about anybody, and it's like if I did, then people would probably believe me more that the community is so good. Like we need a scapegoat. We need somebody to just say like, just lay it on. Maybe Andy Berkey. That guy sucks.
Blame Berkey.
Berkey sucks. He's the worst.
The funny thing is the two of us, Berkey and I, live about 2 hours away.
Oh, really?
And we've never been to each other's shop.
Huh.
We keep talking about it for like 4 years now, but we've never done it.
Yeah, I can't. I generally try not to, talk bad about anybody that makes things with their hands. Unless they really piss me off.
Well, so Berkey's got to be the scapegoat. So
there's a hashtag. So
if you need to like lend authenticity to something, because it's usually if you only, I don't know, I feel like you have to have some every now and then. It helps to have something negative to say because it lends more authenticity to your positive statements. So yeah, everybody's great except for Berkey. He's terrible.
I don't know. I trash talk Bosch on the internet pretty frequently.
Yeah, had some bad run-ins with him.
Bosch tools.
Yeah.
2 of their routers just died on me, like in a row.
But they have those cool wooden handles that look.
They
so
do.
Nice.
They look nice when they work. Anyway,
what about you, Zach? What's inspiring you?
Oh, man. Nothing. I am not inspired right now.
You are uninspired.
I am taking a hiatus from being inspired, which is like against my it's just circumstantial. It's all fine. Hopefully we'll get some news today. And
The only thing that inspires you is a new shop.
Yes. I think as soon as I know, like, okay, this is what's happening with my life in a few weeks, then I can like shift into high gear and actually, I can't wait. Like as soon as if this house is a go and as soon as we get the green light, like I'm going to just be going nonstop, getting stuff ready. And I think that inspiration and everything, the motivation is going to come back. It's just like this weird lull. It's like the calm before the storm, to where I really can't mentally start a new project. I can't get into anything because I'm going to have to pack everything up. And so
you should be like every 20-year-old girl with a couple $100 and get "This too shall pass," tattooed on next to your boobs.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Wow.
I
wow. That bombed.
Yeah, I will. I guess it's not really maybe it's inspiration. I don't know. I'm gonna join up the what's inspiring me and what I've been watching. I'm gonna combine them into one. I started watching it like a year ago, and I've been getting back into it. Is the Chef's Table series on Netflix?
Yeah, you talked about that.
It is so good. Like it's just, and it's not like I'm not huge into cooking or anything. Like I enjoy it sometimes on occasion, but I'm not like, it's not like a huge part of my life or anything. But the show is so inspiring because, and I think it's not necessarily just because it's about cooking or whatever, but it's like an in-depth look at these people's lives who have accomplished things. I think the medium, it could have been a show on like a cobbler or on, it does the fact that it's cooking is almost irrelevant, but it's the stories of these people who are so passionate about these things and persevere and pursue their dreams. And it's interesting. There's people from all over the world. It's just a really well done, well documented, great story. It's just it is a pretty inspiring show. So that's even if you're not into cooking, like it's pretty cool to watch. So that's going to be I'm doubling up on that one this week.
Cool. Well, do you have a favorite tool of the week, Zach?
Home inspector.
I'm going to say my
Zillow.
French press.
Your French press, all right?
French press. That is how you coffee.
I coffeed that with my French press this morning.
Yep. It's the only way.
I've heard Chemex are pretty good, but I've never tried one.
You know what? Like, it was a sad day when I lived in Portland and all of a sudden everybody got into pour over coffee. It was like, to me, it was the death of coffee. Because everybody got rid of their French presses, all the fancy coffee shops. They did these fancy pour over stuff, but the paper filters, to me, like they ruin coffee because it like traps all the oils, and that's the best part. I want like gritty, thick, oily sludge coffee with nothing else in it, and like I don't want my coffee to taste like flowers. I don't like floral coffee. I want it to taste like a mouthful of dirt and like,
See, I'm a nutty coffee guy.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Like earthy.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I like. I think that like Central America, like Guatemala, that's the good stuff. Like the African coffee, not into it. It's all floral and light and citrusy. I'm like, that's what tea is for.
When I read about like, on the bag of coffee about the notes or whatever, when I see like bright and citrusy, I'm like, bleh, and I put it back.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what everybody's in. It's like the IPA of coffees. It's like, no way.
All right, James, how about you? What's your tool of the week?
I actually have to go with a little pressurized air can. Those little cans of pressurized air for cleaning out cameras and electronics and things like that because I'm in the shop with my computer and all my equipment. And having one of those things with a tiny little hose nozzle that you can put into gaps, especially blowing out the camera, I find that to be a very, very beneficial tool.
Excellent.
What about you, Will?
I have to go with my Grizzly Impact Driver. Grizzly had sent me their new Grizzly Pro line of cordless tools that they came out with. I didn't ask for it; they just kind of showed up, and I was like, I personally don't enjoy cordless circular saws because usually they're left-hand blade, which puts the weight on the offcut piece. So at the end of whatever you're cutting, the saw wants to roll. Instead of having the weight on
you can
the
just
motor.
cut it from the other side of the piece.
Cut it back towards me like this.
Just stand on the other side of the board.
Just do circles over and over again.
Or, yeah.
Anyway, it's just anyway. So they sent me, and I was like, I'm never going to use these because I don't really do that much kind of work. But building this stair system, I grabbed the impact driver, and man, I got to tell you, I was really impressed. I ran through a 5-pound box of screws with it, and it never skipped a beat. So got to go with my Grizzly Impact Driver.
Those things are fun.
They are. They're fast.
I have like 4 or 5 drills, and I do not have an impact driver.
I've got 4 drills.
Everybody tells me like that's what they use more than anything, and I just don't have one.
I have 4 drills and 2 impact drivers.
I was thinking the other day because I had to go buy some more ash for handles, and they're like it's a huge board, so I had to cut it in half to get it in my truck. But like battery technology is unbelievable. I mean, I'm sure some people are like, oh, it could be better, or it's not good enough yet. I remember my stepdad was a carpenter, and I remember one of the first battery powered things. He got, it was a Makita skill saw, and the battery was like the old kind when like the battery was like it went in the handle, and it was like like a
foot long.
Big, it was like 10 inches long, and just like it looked like a bunch of D-cell batteries like encased together or something. And it slid in the handle and had like the military ammo can strap that like held it in, and the blade was like 3 inches diameter. It was tiny. And it was like, I remember when he got it, and it was like, oh my God, like this thing is going to revolutionize the world. Like, and it would cut like 2 2x4s in half, and then the battery was dead. And it was like such a mind blower. And now I'm like, the other day when I had to go to the store, like I said, to get that piece of ash, and I just reached the bottom drawer of my box and grabbed my skill saw that had the battery on it. And I was like, God, I don't think I've changed the battery on this for like 8 months. And I don't use it all the time, but I use it enough to where it's like, it's just, I don't know. It was just kind of a revelation right there. I was like, this is crazy that I can just grab a tool that's been sitting for 8 months, and, I use it occasionally and the battery's fine. And I can go cut like this gigantic 12-inch 2x12 piece of hardwood in half, and doesn't even phase it.
Yeah. Is it left-hand blade?
Yes, which is the way it should be.
No, it shouldn't.
It should be.
No.
You can't see. If you're right-handed, the blade should be on the left side of the saw.
No, because then you're putting the weight on the offcut piece. If you're right-handed,
you can stand on the other side of the board. You can.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Okay, look.
Okay.
Here's this ruler.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
If we're blade left, if I'm standing on this side, then yes, you're right. The platform will be on the offcut side. If I stand on this side, the platform will be on the not offcut side.
Okay, but you're still like, what if you're holding a speed square with your left hand?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so if you're holding the speed square with your left hand, as you're cutting it off, now all of a sudden this board is like, as you cut it off, you're like trying to hold the board and the speed square.
Well,
I'm with Zach on this one. That doesn't make any sense, Will.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I see what he's saying with the speed square.
I grew up in construction, man. I'm telling you.
The speed square would be on the offcut side. You're correct there. But once you get a couple inches in with the speed square, you don't need the speed square anymore. The saw.
But what do? You just stop holding it?
Yeah,
like stop mid cut, and
you don't have to stop. You just pull the speed square off while you're cutting.
That's dumb.
No. See, I hold the speed square and the board all in one hand, and that way this offcut doesn't fall.
But who cares if the offcut falls?
Exactly.
It's your offcut.
What's your problem?
I know, it just makes it less chance of pinching the blade or anything of that nature.
Well, you should have your workpiece supported better.
See, now, up in the Northwest, where everything is done correctly and properly, worm drive. The West Coast
original
worm drive.
Yeah, the original worm drive
which
saw.
They weigh about 300 pounds, and they have more torque than most cars. Those are the saws that you have on the West Coast. Those are the ones you grew up with. They're like 30-pound saws, and like they're for like rafter saws. Like you literally cut things down at an angle because the weight of the saw like just plows through it. And then like you go to the East Coast and everybody has these little right side circular saws that are like, they're like the Honda Civic of saws, like 5 million RPMs, but like you hit anything and they're toast.
Jonathan 24 in the chat, hashtag ZH is right.
You'll never convince me ever that and
that's obvious.
And Zach, if you stand on the other side of the board, you're still looking over the blade to see which the kerf to have your waist, the kerf cut on the waist piece, so you're not, undercutting your work piece by an eighth of an inch or 3/32 if you're using a thin kerf blade.
Yeah. I like my left side drive.
Well, good for you.
Blade.
Well, on that note, I think we've wandered enough for today. So thank you for joining us. If you'd like to find out more, you can see us live Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on the YouTube Creators channel. And I think that's about it for this week.
Hashtag left is right.
Hashtag Herbert Holtz Walker feud.
Sounds good. Well, until next time, have a wonderful day.
Adios.